Welcome to this video. I am your guide, Elasa Tina Marie, and we are going to go over today quantum shifting and working with your identity, your now time identity, which essentially is your old identity, and your new identity, and looking for any core energetics, any energetic signatures that are keeping you repeating again and again the old identity and not allowing for who you truly be, who you are as a higher self-consciousness, who you are as a very ancient being who is here to live and celebrate the merger of your abilities and live in the ways that you've always known you're supposed to. Your true desires are your, map on that new identity that you are really wanting to embody and start to merge into. But in order to actually make space for it, we have to move some of these old signatures out of the way. Just as if I was to have like a glass of water and I needed, to get rid of what was the water that was in there before I poured a full glass of crystalline, loved on water or grapefruit juice, I would have to dump out the existing water so that I could actually get a full glass in. So we need to release anything that needs to be released. And so if we're looking at, just this drawing right here, we're seeing the old identities in the center. I did like a little squiggly line, like a donut of energy that this being is wearing around their heart, or it could be around their solar plexus. And these are those energetic signatures, those energetic residues that sometimes are left behind from ancestors, from, growing up in a household and witnessing certain things all the time that created a pattern in your field. So it's belief systems, mindsets, patterns, etc., literal energetic debris that sometimes is sitting in your aura and in your body at large that needs to have a cleansing so that you can make room for this new identity, the larger you that really is always been there. It just hasn't been able to actually settle into the heart because you've been running off default off of these other energy signatures in your aura. Okay. And so I want to share with you just a couple practices and some downloads that I got when I was doing this exercise for myself and for a client. And, I was just doing my typical energetic tune in of like looking at self. And I was saying, is there something specific like a geometry I need to look for right now when I'm doing this exercise? Because sometimes, when you're looking for the who, what, when, where, why about anything for adjustments, sometimes it's beyond those words, it's more of a visual. And so I was questioning consciousness. Is there a geometry I need to find, or a color, or like a blob of energy? And what Spirit said at that moment was, there are all of those, but what we want you to look at right now is the actual mitochondria, and specifically the dendrites. And so if you remember from science, your mitochondria are your energy producers. They are like the main ATP powerhouse for that energy production, for cells to do what they need to do, and for cells to communicate to other cells. We've got the dendrites that come off. They're like almost look like seaweed, and these dendrites come off, especially in nerve cells. You see them a lot, and they are, looking for other dendrites, other axons of, the expansion of the cell from that main midpoint to the dendrites go off, and they're looking for other dendrites. When we talk about neurons fire and wire together, those dendrites are literally meeting up with each other to exchange information, exchange mitochondria, and do, really this information exchange. So when I asked consciousness, I said, why is that so important? And what was revealed is that, if you are just communicating, again, this old identity again and again, you are exchanging that same information in the cells along the dendrites. And they also showed that a lot of this original information that, like when we look at ancestral, but especially this lifetime in your mother's womb, a lot of this was being, that beginning point production and stored in the mitochondria. And so we want to make sure that, when you're asking consciousness for information, the when was this information uh, begun, the conception point where it stored itself, so that you can really get to the root and cleanse it out. And so when I did this exercise, I was witnessing what I took on, the patterns in my mitochondria and dendrites from that time of being in the womb space, and then other timelines I was shown as well, other incarnations. And so when I then did the exercise, what I saw was like the dendrites, those kind of like seaweedy extensions off the nerve cells and off cells in general. I saw them turn from just like, singular dendrite extending out to like it turned on its multidimensionality. So it was able to cleanse enough so that it restored its multidimensionality to exchange again from not just the old identity information, but the new information, or the seemingly new, it's always been there, but this higher dimensional aspect of you that we call higher self. And so it was very translucent. The dendrites started when they saw them expand multidimensionality, meaning if you see, my finger here and it's a dendrite, all around it, let's say we're working with the 12, you've got the one that's really visible, but then 11 other, mirror images of that dendrite strand expanded around in a very etherical, crystalline visual. And it turned into this very magical scene when I was watching the dendrites clean up any old information to allow for the expansion of its multidimensional nature, to pull in other information of the higher self, of the true identity, and that you know and desire to be. And so when you ask your consciousness, we'll do an exercise in a moment, who are you meant to be, beyond this now moment that we would actually say is your old self, right? Because if we're just repeating again and again what we've memorized in the body, especially in the subconscious mind and unconscious mind in the ether, if we're just repeating all that information again and again, that's essentially old information. So if we're tapping in super consciously and we're asking for our higher intelligence to show us who we really are, who we're really meant to be, or a key word of your most wealthy or healthy self, what does that look like and feel like? You're going to, if you're visual, you're going to witness something grander, something, if it's your body, it's in perfect health, shape, wellness. It's got super abilities back online again. Or if it's your wealth, your God wealth, that everything around here is abundantly being projected from the God's eye that you hold. And so if your wealth is being blocked because you're afraid of it from ancestral patterning, that maybe, it's going to be too much to handle, or it's a burden to have too much wealth, or all the different belief systems and false belief systems that were taken on and are being stored in the body mind, we want to make sure that when you're tuning in to these higher visions and these higher knowings, that we clean something out, right? That first part of the glass example, we clean out that old information to allow for the dendrites to pull in multidimensionally the new frequencies, the new core energetics, and ground them through your breath, through your practice, through your action steps. So let's do this exercise. I want you to just go ahead and get comfortable and tune in to just who you are in this now moment. Feel your body as you take some deep breaths. Does your awareness take you to anywhere specifically in your body, specifically in your aura? And we're going to tap into your higher self, your super intelligent consciousness at large, your God self, your benevolent source beginning point. Whatever word is coming to you to identify this grander vision, grander version, identity. And I want you to ask for its help to show you something, a part of your old identity within your body, within your cells, the mitochondria, the dendrites, in your aura it might show up, but some kind of shape or structure or word may come to you, something that wants to be identified, that wants to be released, that's holding space, keeping the old identity intact. Ask a few questions about what it is, why it is, and where it began. And then whatever information you've just gotten, go ahead and ask your higher intelligence to go ahead and vibrate, and you may move your body, you may do a little bit of a shimmy and vibrate that energy, disentangle, unwind, dissolve, dismantle, and allow that energy to start to come undone, to be recycled and pour out the top of your channel, back to benevolent source, back to your beginning point. Take 3 cleansing breaths. And then go ahead and ask your higher self now, think of what are you wanting to embody, your new identity. What aspect, what word? If you're not getting a word, a symbol, maybe it's a vision of who you know you truly be, your body, your aura, your abilities. Highlight what we're now going to bring in now that you made space. You're most wealthy, you're most healthy. And with some visuals, start to sparkle it up. Make it crystalline, sparkly. And go ahead and ask your higher self, your higher intelligence, to go ahead and merge that new signature frequency subset of energies down into your core, into your heart, into your midline. And take some deep breaths, inhaling down your channel all the way to your root, to your legs, to out your feet. Take a couple deep breaths. You may shimmy again, sparkle the aura, sparkle your energy, and see yourself taking one action step that's going to solidify this merger. Good. And go ahead and let your conscious know that you are ready for this. You are ready to completely be done with what you've let go of and completely ready to embody this new identity, this new core signature frequency. And then take your hands to your thymus. Take a deep breath into your heart and out, and open your eyes. And go ahead in the comments, please let me know anything that you received as far as your action step, anything that you saw in your vision that you're embodying. Let us know how it went. And we look forward to working with you again on this magical day where you are now the new you. Keep going. Until next time.